We spend hours and hours of our lives staring at screens, but have you ever really truly stopped to think about what those screens are doing to our brains? Well, today we're diving into the science of how the internet is fundamentally changing you. Seriously, just for a second, think about it. How many hours did you spend online today? Two? Four? Maybe even more. We're all more connected than we've ever been in history. But what is all that screen time actually doing to our minds? And you know what? That's not just some casual question anymore. There is an entire field of science that's now dedicated to figuring out the psychology behind our digital lives. And that field, it has a name: cyber psychology. And it's literally the science of understanding the human mind in the digital age. Now, cyber psychology isn't just about your social media feed. No, it's about everything: online dating, video games, how we work remotely, and even how we form our thoughts. It's the science of who we become when we're online. All right, so where do we even begin with such a huge topic? Let's start small. Let's start with you. How does being online change how we see ourselves? And maybe more importantly, how we act? You've seen it, right? You're scrolling through the comments and you see something so aggressive and you think there's no way they would ever say that to someone's face. Or, hey, maybe you've even felt a little bolder online yourself. Well, there's a very real psychological reason for that. It's something researchers call the online disinhibition effect. See, when we're face to face, things like eye contact, body language, and immediate consequences, they all keep our behavior in check. But online, that anonymity, that physical distance, it can lower all of our normal restraints, for better and sometimes for worse. And get this, our core personalities don't just disappear when we log on. In many ways, they get amplified. Studies consistently show that extroverts tend to use social media more. People with narcissistic traits, they tend to post more selfies and self-promotional content. Even a trait like conscientiousness can predict how likely you are to fall for a phishing scam. It's all connected. Let's take dating apps as a perfect example. Research actually shows that, on average, Tinder users score significantly higher on personality traits like extroversion and openness to new experiences. So our personalities are literally guiding us to the specific digital corners of the world we choose to hang out in. Okay, so that's us as individuals. But what happens when we start interacting with each other online? This is where the story gets really complex. Let's start with the good stuff, because there really is a lot of good stuff. Technology can be this incredibly powerful force for connection. For many people, social media provides a genuine sense of community and support, which research has actually linked to lower stress. For some, it can be an absolute lifeline. But there's always a but, isn't there? There is a major flip side. The very same platforms that can make us feel connected are also associated with some pretty serious negative outcomes. Study after study has found links between heavy social media use and things like depression, anxiety, and lower overall happiness. It truly is a double-edged sword. And in its most extreme form, this problematic use can become what experts call internet addiction. Now, this isn't just about spending a lot of time online. We're talking about a clinical concept here, where a person's internet use becomes compulsive and starts to cause real, measurable harm to their work, their school, or their relationships. So just how big of a problem is this, really? Well, that's the tricky part. If you look at the research, the estimates for internet addiction are all over the map, from less than 1% all the way up to over a quarter of the population in some studies. It just goes to show you how new this all is, and that the scientific community is still figuring out how to even define and measure this very modern problem. Okay, but it is not all doom and gloom, not at all, because the same technology that's creating some of these new challenges, it's also creating some incredible, mind-blowing new solutions for mental health. Welcome to the world of telepsychology. Through video calls, specialized apps, and even just text chat, therapy is becoming more accessible than ever before. And the research is really clear on this. For many common conditions, like anxiety and depression, getting help online is just as effective as traditional in-person therapy. And if you think that's cool, it gets even more futuristic. Check this out: virtual reality exposure therapy, or VRET. This technology lets a patient confront their greatest fears. We're talking heights, public speaking, even PTSD triggers, in a completely safe and controlled virtual world, all while a therapist is guiding them through it. And I have to stress this. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now. The clinical evidence is solid. VREAT has been proven effective for a whole range of anxiety disorders and has even shown amazing promise in helping people manage chronic pain. It is a total game changer. And the innovation just keeps coming. We're also seeing the rise of AI-powered robototherapy. This involves using social robots, like the famous little seal robot named Paro, to help people. And these robots have shown real, tangible success in improving social skills for children with autism and in reducing feelings of loneliness among older adults. It's amazing stuff. Okay. Wow. So after this whirlwind tour of our digital minds, from our online personalities all the way to robot therapists, where does that leave us? What's the big picture here? Here's what it all really boils down to. First, cyberpsychology isn't just some niche academic thing. It's an absolutely crucial lens for understanding what it means to be alive today. Second, our online and offline worlds aren't separate anymore. They are deeply, deeply intertwined. And finally, technology is a powerful tool that shapes both connection and conflict. And there's no doubt that the future of mental health care is becoming more and more digital. And all of this leaves us with one final massive question. As technology like AI and VR becomes even more seamless, even more integrated into the fabric of our lives, are we really ready for the incredibly complex ethical questions it's going to ask of us? Questions about privacy, connection, and what it even means to be human in this new digital world.